proposed that that might be true.
Yeah, so the docs would be a difficult approach.
We're still behind the iceberg, which means
Storytelling is intrinsic to our nature. We all do it, probably every day even. But while we frequently tell stories to other people, how often do we tell stories with other people? Tabletop RPGs such as Dungeons & Dragons provides the unique opportunity to share this innate human interaction in ways that many of us aren't used to.
We should ask if there's a way to get in without.
Yeah,
That would be a massive death.
That's probably the best way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's not waste it on. How are we gonna trick your people?
Dungeons & Dragons is essentially a theater of the mind role-playing game. That means that typically about 5 to 8 people, one of whom is the dungeon master, collect around a table and try to tell a story together using a set of rules that come from the handbooks, the rule books.
What did you do?
Alright.
I guess a tabletop RPG is interesting in the way that it's not like a designated story, so like you kind of have the freedom of choice in it, and especially if you're able to work together well with your storyteller or dungeon master or something, you're able to kind of take your story and the character that you've created together and kind of go any direction that you'd like, and you know, you have your own personal goals and you have your own personal wants and needs and stuff. In Western cultures, it's kind of received as a little bit more nerdy or kind of maybe a little bit more geeky or something like that. But how I kind of look at it is it's a social time that you can just kind of play pretend with your friends.
I think that people perceive it to be a lot more nerdy than it is. If there's an actor, it's a great way to like pretend to be somebody else. Also, if you want to relieve stress, it's awesome to like put yourself in somebody else's shoes and just pretend to be somebody else.
In addition to Dungeons & Dragons being considered nerdy by some, others also consider it to be demonic.
Demonic? Again, it is what you want it to be, and that's the great thing about it, is there's such a flexibility and there's such a freedom in terms of what you want to do with your D&D. So if you want it to be demonic or whatever, then I suppose you could.
Back in the 80s, there was a pretty massive stigma around Dungeons & Dragons, that it was satanic in some way. The Dungeon Master's Guide had a demon on the cover of it, kind of like a this is the big enemy kind of picture. A lot of people interpreted it as this is what you're supposed to be summoning or something like that.
I know that like some Christians think that it's like a satanic thing. I don't see how it's super satanic. It's no more satanic than any movies you could watch about magic or anything.
Dungeons & Dragons is whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to have anything to do with devils, demons, any of that. And I can't stress that enough. There's too much hype about it's an evil game, it's bad for you, it teaches you bad things. It's playing pretend. Come on.
I would say try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. If you love it, then you love it, and that's awesome.
It can be as informal or as formal as you want it to be.
The goal of the game is mostly to have fun.
It could be a blockbuster Hollywood movie, you know? They have D20 Modern, and that's basically set in modern day. You can do anything that you want with it.
There's always people who want to tell a story with it.
It's like with any new thing that you can try. You need to do it in order to see whether or not you'll enjoy it.
I would say most players who play tabletop games, specifically Dungeons & Dragons, want more people in the community. They want more people to play the game with because it's about the game.